This is a Toshiba DVD player. I got this out of the garbage. It's a model SD3980. When you power this thing on, green light comes on. The green light is actually kind of flashing. That's not just on your screen. Well, there it just went off. It just went off entirely right there. So I don't know what's up with that. It was at least staying on before. So I don't know. It's got some kind of protection or something going on. We're going to see if we can fix this. Suspect something's probably going on in the power supply, obviously, because it won't power on and stay on. So if we look over here on the power board, and like I said, I got this off the curb. There was a citywide. There was a citywide kind of a heavy trash pickup, and this was on the curb. And I also picked up like a Toshiba VHS player that does work. It actually works pretty nicely. The fuse looks all right. I don't see the fuse. It's not blown. Obviously, I don't think the fuse would be blown anyway because the light was at least coming on. But over here, if we look at these, you can see right there. You can see that cap is bulged at the top, and look, that cap beside it right up there is also bulged at the top, and you can see some crap seeping out of it. Okay, so I wonder if this is some kind of power regulation problem, because we have what might be a little voltage regulator right here, right in this area. There's a couple diodes here as well. Usually this will be separated. You can see the big white line right here. The white line is indicating the separation between primary transformer side stuff. This will all be 120 AC coming in from here, and then everything on this side will be after this transformer right here, which will step down and isolate the voltages from the 120 side over to here. And I think this is probably our problem. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna pop in a couple of replacement caps right there, and we'll just see what that does. I'm just really curious. I was just sort of taking a look at this while I was watching the Dr. Oz and Fetterman debate. And it is such a train wreck. Man, that guy, you know, I'm not making fun of somebody because he can't speak because he had a seizure or whatever it was, or a stroke. But holy crap, the guy is wholly unfit for the job, and it's just kind of cruelty. It's the same thing with like Joe Biden, man. It's cruelty to put people out there in a position, a highly stressful position, when they obviously are not going to be able to perform the duties of the job, and you're putting them forward for these offices despite the fact that they have these massive mental faculty problems. And the guy can barely even speak. He was asked at one point, he was like, what was it? The chick was like, you're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview where you said, I don't support fracking at all, and I've never supported fracking. And she's like, how do you square the two? And he was like, took this long pause, and he's like, oh, I do support fracking, and another long pause. I don't, and he's shaking his head. I support fracking, and I do support fracking. that was his answer to, like, you know, she was looking for, why did you change your mind? You know what I mean? What, you know, obviously you said two completely different things, and why did you change your mind? And that's okay. You know, people are entitled to change their mind given new information, but he didn't say anything of the sort. It was just like, it was just no comprehension making an argument that makes sense to anybody, let alone, it's just, man, that's the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever seen on a national debate stage. Really. I've watched a lot of debates, but man, that was something right there. Complete brain freeze. I'm not saying I would do much better, but holy shit, that was bad. Okay, so there's one of them. This is a 680 microfarad at 10 volts. I'm guessing that's 105 degrees C. I'm guessing 10 volt was not enough. And that's probably why it has bulged at the top. This thing is from 2000, did I see a 2005? So, I mean, I guess it's a decent little run, but all right. That one again, 10 volts, 680 microfarad. Let me see what I've got.
Poll, a hypothetical rematch between Joe Biden and Donald Trump in 2024 would be a statistical tie in Pennsylvania. 46% of people said they would vote for former President Trump, 45% for President Biden. Mr. Oz, would you support a Trump 2024 run, and why 60 seconds?
I'll support whoever the Republican Party puts up, and I have reached out across the aisle on my campaign.
Even if it's Satan himself.
I tried to work with Democrats and Republicans, and people in the middle, people unsure, people who forgot, people who got angry with where they're...
That's just not a good answer. I'm sorry. That's a really thoughtless answer.
Unify, not divide, and address the problems as a surgeon, because in the OR, that's what I do. I just fix the big problem in front of me. John Fetterman, however, cannot go to Washington and work with the other side because he doesn't even get along with his own side. He criticized Joe Biden for not spending enough money and not sidling up close enough to Bernie Sanders. He says he won't work with Joe Manchin. He said, if you like Joe Manchin, don't vote for me. So if you're picking fight with your own party, you're not going to be able to reach across the aisle.
Okay, so these that I'm putting in here are...
Extreme positions have made...
Okay, these that I'm putting in here are 16 volts at 470 microfarads. They're labeled Nichicon. I think they might be fake Nichicons, but I mean, for this thing, I'm not that worried about it. This is just to see if I can get it working. This isn't anything other than that. Just kind of, this thing has been sitting in my floor, and I want to get it out of my floor, so I want to determine whether or not I can bring it back to life. If so, I'll keep it around maybe, and if not, it'll hit the garbage.
Untenable for Republican lawmakers. We need to send someone to Washington who understands the importance of balance, sensible decision-making, and a common sense approach to the challenges that we all face. That's not John Fetterman.
Mr. Oz, Donald Trump has supported you. He has endorsed you. Why won't you fully commit to supporting him in 2024?
Oh, I do. I would support Donald Trump if he decided to run for president.
All right.
But this is bigger than one candidate. This is a much bigger story about how we are going to build a bigger tent to let more Americans feel safe.
Are you concerned about the ongoing legal investigations involving the former president? 30 seconds, sir.
I haven't followed them very carefully. I've been campaigning pretty aggressively. They'll work themselves out. I have tremendous confidence in the American legal system, and I believe law and order will reign supreme. But speaking about that topic, there's one person on this stage who's broken the law, we believe. John Fetterman took a shotgun, chased a unarmed African-American man, and put the gun, apparently, according to that man, to his chest. John, you weren't pulled over by the police. They let you go. You were the mayor at the time. Why haven't you apologized to that unarmed, innocent black man who you put a shotgun to his chest?
All right, we will allow a 30-second response to that, Mr. Fetterman, specifically what he was saying, referring to the incident in Braddock.
I made the opportunity to defend my community as the chief law enforcement officer there. Everybody in Braddock, an overwhelming majority community of black community, all understood what happened. You know, they understood what happened, and everybody agreed that, and nobody believes that it was anything about me making a split-second decision to defend our community as well.
Why not apologize?
Mr. Oz, please. We are still with Mr. Fetterman. Turning to you right now, you support a Biden run. Do you support a Biden run in 2024? Why in 60 seconds?
That's honestly, it's up to his choice whether he, and if he does choose to run, I would absolutely support him. But ultimately, that's ultimately only his choice.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fetterman. A follow-up question on this. Our Next Star poll shows 51% of Pennsylvania voters disapprove of the president's job performance. You have publicly supported many of his policy positions. Are there any that you disagree with? 30 seconds.
No. Now, can I have... Wow.
No, I just believe he needs to do more about supporting and fighting about inflation.
I thought he was going to take the full 30 seconds in silence.
At the end of the day, I think Joe Biden is a good family man. He stands for the union way of life, and I believe that unemployment is already down to the lowest level in the last 50 years.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Dennis.
Let's turn now, gentlemen, to the issue of Social Security. It is only fully funded through 2034. Many Americans are worried that they will never receive their full benefit.
Of course we're not. Of course we're not going to receive it. I've known that pretty much my entire life.
It is there for them. You have
We need to make sure that Dr. Oz and the Republicans believe in cutting Medicare
we had a
and
flash.
Social Security. I
Now it's on. Now it's loading.
Have to support and expand Social Security. And if somebody send me the
No disc. Are you going to open?
I would support and stand and to support security, Social Security.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oz. Same question to you. How are you going to make sure that Social
Well,
Security
it looked like it was going to
available
work.
for future Americans? You have 60 seconds.
We made a deal with the wonderful seniors of our nation. They worked their hearts out. They paid into a program.
There we go.
No one's going to touch it on my watch except
There we go.
than it is right now.
So that was
Social
simple
Security,
enough.
Medicare, which I know a lot about.
It was. They're not exactly the correct. Not exactly the correct size. Now these over here, those are 16 volts at 470 microfarad also. But they're the same brand. That whatever these are, RM, just some generic. It says 105C on these, 105 degree. That shouldn't have ever blown like that, but yeah, those caps are certainly bad. I think this thing will work probably fine with those caps, with those 470s. I'm not sure if 680. There must be some reason they used 680. And maybe some functions won't work quite the same. Maybe it'll take just a second longer. Who knows? But it looks, at least right now, as if everything's operating. So. Let me grab a DVD and see if I can get something out of it. Here, how about let's see if one of the greatest movies of all time will load. Hot Shots. Part 2. Oh, are you going to come out of there? Come on. The fuck? What is it? Stuck? It is stuck. What's going on with that? There we go. Goodness gracious. I love these movies, man. There's nothing like a good slapstick movie. Just want to see if it loads and queues up. Is it gonna queue? Well, it doesn't like something. Well, now we're going to a chapter. It may even be playing right now if I were to plug it into something. I don't know what this is supposed to read. Let's see. Yeah, something tells me we've got bigger problems than just those two capacitors. The open close works, but don't know if it's going to want to load a disk. It may be that the lens is dirty or something. It could be something like that, or it could be a. Wonder if the lens is even moving. Yeah, I can hear the lens moving. So I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't like the disc. Yeah, don't know. Okay. Okay, I can see the lens actually moving. Yeah, it won't even stop. Maybe it does need exactly the correct value in that spot. You know? Maybe it does, or maybe there's something else going on. Could be that we've got a problem over here on this board as well. I mean, this thing is from, like I said, it's from 2005. So it very well could be something over here. Could be a ribbon cable issue. Could be any number of things. Try different discs. You know, sometimes players don't like a disc for whatever reason. So could be. Gonna say it could be something to do with that, but no, it's just not spinning up and loading at all, is it? My guess is we've got some problems in the power supply other than just those two capacitors. Probably one or more of these chips over here on this board is not seeing correct voltages, and it's not knowing what to do. So we're getting data errors as a result of bad voltages. Could go through this and just start measuring some voltages. We do at least have on the ribbon cable. Okay. On the ribbon cable right here, if I really wanted to, that ribbon cable where that's going in, you can see the printed voltage values are right there. So if I wanted to stick a meter here on each one of these, you can see no connection on this one. What is this? Power on, ground, a 5 volt, should have negative 12, positive 12, ground, and what's that? Another positive 5 volts, maybe? Is that right? There. So I could check those. It's interesting too that this board has got a lot of empty space. So it's like it was used for multiple models, and this is just one of the possible models. My guess is those two right there, these two capacitors, I bet if we changed those also, I bet we would get correct voltages, because those have to do with the output voltages. Because of their proximity, I can see that they're probably filtering these supplies, the 12 volt and 5 volt supplies that are going down this. And if those others were faulty from the same manufacturer, then I bet these are too. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this board out. I'll pop some new ones in here just to see why the hell not. We've come this far. I mean, it's not really costing me much. Those are really cheap, so I'm not worried about it. And I can always pop these boards out and just save the boards in my parts stash for later. So it's not like I'll be losing anything here. But you can see here this ferrite bead right here. You can see what that is. That's a ferrite bead. And the way that they have these wires doubled back and then going through this. Well, I say a bead. This is actually It's there to filter out noise, to help filter noise, because this long cable run, it has to be really clean power coming in to this board. And my guess is, like I said, that it's not clean enough, because these two right here probably are culprits, I would imagine. While we're doing this, I'm going to watch some more of this train wreck over here.
To the fundamental element of security for our seniors, and they deserve to feel like they're valued by our nation. John Fetterman, again, has been running ads and saying that I'm against those with no proof. I've never said anything different than what I'm saying to you on the stage. But in an effort to fearmonger with people who are older and can be taken advantage of, he'll run these ads. John, it's reprehensible, but it's also reflective of your approach to doing these things. You haven't shown up on the campaign trail. You haven't answered questions from voters, not once on the campaign trail. You haven't answered questions from media once on the campaign trail, even just to show off that you could do it. And this is the only debate I could get you to come to talk to me on. And I had to beg on my knees to get you to come. And if it wasn't for Dennis probably getting involved, I don't think it would have happened. Look, seniors need to know more about your rap.
I literally interviewed Fetterman about a week ago.
That's what democracy is built on.
Yeah, but you did interview Fetterman. Here's what's funny about this debate. What's funny about this debate is if you look at YouTube, all of the places that had streamed this debate, the stream has either been taken down by the owner or YouTube or somebody, except for this one. This is about the only one I could find where it's still up, and the guy whose stream it is like pro Fetterman, like 100%. But that's the only one that you can watch. So I don't know. You tell me what's going on with that.
Give us a specific example of what you would do to protect Social Security.
Well, for one, we have to make sure that it adequately increases with the higher inflation rates that we have. So we've got to make that 4% of wasted money that right now is in the budget redirected appropriately. And one of the first places that I would use it is Social Security and Medicare. And here's the reason. One of the worst things we can do to a people is give them bad quality care. And so if you have people who are not going to see a doctor, for example, because they can't afford it, they'll get sicker. Bad medicine means more cost. No one benefits.
Thank you. Mr. Fetterman, he said a few things a moment ago. I want to give you 15 seconds to respond to those.
He didn't know what you're talking about.
Again, I can't just say one thing other than that Dr. Oz would not support, and he would support cutting Medicare. And that's
John, why
what?
Did you say that? I've never said that.
It's absolutely a fact. It's a fact. You would vote against the Inflation Reduction Act, which has dropped our prescription drugs, and he doesn't believe.
Okay, gentlemen, we need to move on. Lisa.
All right, we are moving.
Wow,
on to the
saved
topic
by
of
the moderator.
education. The cost of college tuition is now out of reach for many, many families. Our question is for both of you. We start with Mr. Oz. What is your plan to bring down the cost of higher education long term? You have 1 minute, Mr. Oz.
I've worked in academic medical centers my whole life, so I'm in higher education. And I can tell you the reason that the prices have gone up sixfold in the last 4 years.
Government interference.
Is not because the education quality is better. We've added extra layers of middle level individuals who don't actually improve the quality education.
Too much access.
There's a lot of expenses now.
Too much access to money for C students dilutes the quality of students going to.
Electronic classes. Half the kids
And then
don't
they
go to campus anyway.
raise the prices.
Fetterman's approach, however, is not to deal with the unnecessary
Because they
high
can get
costs,
it.
but just to pay.
Because it's guaranteed.
So if you want to pay students,
That's why.
who didn't pay their loans back, basically what John Fetterman and Joe Biden are arguing for is for plumbers who didn't go to college and couldn't, for a bunch of reasons, afford it, to pay the bills of lawyers who went to graduate school and haven't paid their debt back. I don't think that's right for the American people. We want a fair system. Drop the cost down by pushing for more value for the money we're spending, and then ensure there's a high-quality education that lets people make a living when they graduate.
All right, I will allow a 15-second rebuttal specifically on the issue of student loan debt, which Mr. Oz was referring to. Mr. Fetterman.
Again, Dr. Oz, loves free money when it's a $500,000 tax break on one of his, homes down in a ranch in Florida. And whether it was a $50 tax break, about his farm in Montgomery County. So it's about supporting and helping, young earners,
A tax break is not the same as a handout. dude.
young,
A
students,
tax break is your money. It's letting you keep your money, you fucking re.
All right, let me just ask specifically, with the plan
Oh,
to,
boy.
ease
I couldn't
student
do
loan
it. I couldn't
debt
debate
forgiveness of
these stupid people, man. I just couldn't do it.
$20,000 for Pell Grant recipients. Do you support that position?
I do absolutely support that. I believe, like I said, it's about helping young learners, be able to get a better start, getting off in the start of their life. And I do believe that, and I believe a majority of Americans support that as well too. Helping young learners.
All right,
Ooh,
Mr.
it's slowing
President,
down.
I want to ask you the same
Oh, no, it
question
didn't.
that I asked
Oh.
Mr. Oz, and what is your plan to bring down the cost of higher education long term? You have 1 minute.
Yeah. I don't think he didn't answer. He didn't answer the question whatsoever.
I did answer the question.
Mr. Oz, please give him a moment.
You did. I fundamentally believe that every quality public university education should be very affordable in every
Is it
state.
playing right
I
now?
think that needs to be a significant.
I think it might be
investment,
playing.
to make sure that anyone be able to afford to go to get a 4-degree university degree. At Penn State or at Pitt or any state schools to make it much more affordable, and that means requiring a significant investment to make sure and create it affordable that every family can afford.
How
Wow.
exactly, Mr. Fetterman, do you propose doing
Dang.
that to make it more affordable for families?
I just believe, making it that.
I just believe.
It costs too much, and I believe providing the resources to reduce the tuition to allow families to be able to afford it.
What in the fuck is he talking about there, though? Seriously, though, this is a fucking train wreck. Okay, listen to this. I mean, anybody with half of a brain, listen to this answer. Okay, what are you going to do to make it more affordable? Well, I believe in it should be more affordable, and all people should be able to afford it. That's basically what he said. He didn't say how anything. This is
higher education long term. You have 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't answer. He didn't answer the question whatsoever.
I did answer the question.
Mr. Oz, please give him a moment.
You did. I fundamentally believe that every quality public university education should be very affordable in every state, and I think that needs to be a significant investment. To make sure that anyone be able to afford to go to get a 4-degree university degree, at Penn State or at Pitt or any state schools to make it much more affordable, and that means requiring a significant investment to make sure and create it affordable that every family can afford.
How exactly, Mr. Fetterman?
I've never in my life. What the fuck did he just say? Wait a minute.
Mr. Fetterman, do you propose doing that to make
That every family can
Okay,
afford.
then she asked the obvious question.
How exactly, Mr. Fetterman, do you propose doing that to make it more affordable for families?
I just believe making it that much more, it costs too much, and I believe providing the resources to reduce the tuition to allow families to be able to afford it.
All right, we have a follow-up question. This one now
May-
is from
Oh man. Oh, Mr. Boilneck is not gonna win. There's no way.
and is a vocational educational instructor for university.
That's really wow, man. Oh God. I don't like feeling like I'm attacking. This is why the radical left does stuff like puts a 16 or 15-year-old or however old that climate chick what's her name? Greta Thunberg. Okay. So she's become she's basically she's an autistic teenager, okay, who admits she should be in school and shouldn't have to be out here talking about this stuff. Well, no shit, you shouldn't be. You should be in school. You should be in school learning about something and broadening your obviously very closed mind because you have no idea what the world is about, the energy challenges we face, none of it. You don't understand economics. You've never even had your first job yet. And they trot people like this out there. And, you can't attack the ideas because it'll look like you're attacking an autistic girl, with special needs. The same with this guy, this Fetterman. This debate, Dr. Oz should be able to just laugh in his face and say, what did he just say? It's like, can you ask him that again? Because I don't think anybody in here even understands what the hell he just said. That would be the way to respond to that. Normally, but you've got to tiptoe around it because the guy has special needs now. You know what I mean? So it's ridiculous. Why should we have to worry about somebody with special needs offending somebody with special needs in a debate about serious issues? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so this thing, I'm not going to put any more time into this. This is one of those, I had hoped that just changing those couple of caps might have done the trick, but it's obviously not gonna, and not gonna be an easy fix. I would say because the power board had some bad caps on it, it could have been the case that it damaged something over here on this board because of the bad caps. So that's a possibility. I'm not saying that is what happened because I really, I'm not gonna sit here and test all this stuff. It's not really worth it. This is just a trash pull, and I thought it might be something cool for just 5 minutes, but man, holy shit, that John Fetterman thing. I can't get over it. Oh, I could probably sit here and do this whole debate over here. That's what we'll do. I'll tell you what, for the rest of this video, we'll just react to this.
If you were elected, could you please tell me what you would be doing for vocational education in the state of Pennsylvania as well as our nation?
So, Mr. Oz, if elected, what would you do for vocational education?
That's Dr. Oz, lady.
I've visited vocational schools. I have an answer, but John, because obviously I wasn't clear enough for you to understand this, there's no question that cutting out the middle levels of higher education and providing digital programs would reduce the cost of education. It's a concrete set of ideas that I'd like to move on. With regard to vocational education, this is really important for us to allow our trade unions to get more closely linked with the vocational schools. I was at a vocational school in Westmoreland, and they have about 1,000 kids. They could take 2,000 kids. Funding those programs is the smartest way to invest our tax dollars. We'll turn out twice as many children,
That's what we should be doing instead of pushing higher education, where they're going to go and get some weird, whacked out, useless degree, and then be turned out into a job market that doesn't know what to do with them. We should be giving people vocational skills, skills in how to repair things or how to engineer new things or whatever. We need people with skills, people who know how to weld. We need plumbers. That's the kind of jobs we need. We don't need this crap where all C students think that they need to go to higher education and rack up a $20,000, $40,000, $60,000 bill at the very start of their working lives, and then turned out into the job market that can't accept them and doesn't know what to do with them.
job as soon as they graduate. It supports our trade unions who want those kids in their positions anyway. It makes the whole program work.
Thank you, Mr. Oz. Mr. Fetterman, if elected, what would you do for vocational education? You have 30 seconds.
Let me guess, okay? Let me guess. I believe in vocational education. I've always supported it. It's good. Families should have vocational education. Yeah, good it is.
Again, I think it's just the same the way the university for degrees as well too. Supporting that and partnering with the unions and making sure that vocation training are is affordable and providing the resources to make sure everyone has the opportunity. Going to college isn't the right choice for every person, but going to those kind of vocational schools, able to create a career to Wayne reach a lot of high salary, and again supporting reduce those costs are critical too.
All right.
What the fuck did he just say? What in God's name did this man just say there? What the fuck was that? That was word salad of a degree that I've never heard before. It was like what it reminds me of? It reminds me of in high school where they'll force force you to debate, and neither of you know what the hell the subject is even about. You don't have any life experience, so you don't understand anything about this subject, really. You know, you're just put in a situation where the teacher is forced to, it's debate day, everybody's got to pick a side of the issue, and you get up and debate, and it's just like, you just start repeating word salad. That's what that sounded like. I mean, what the fuck did he just say?
Dennis.
Moving now, multiple members of Congress, specifically Democrats, have called for the Supreme Court to be expanded. Candidates, we want to know where you stand on this. Mr. Fetterman, should the Supreme Court be expanded? And if so, by how many justices? You have 60 seconds.
I don't
Infinite.
believe, I've never, I
Infinite
don't see it.
judges.
I don't believe in that. You know, I fundamentally believe that even though I don't agree with the ideological breakup of the Supreme Court, you know, I believe it's not about changing the rules. It's about acknowledging where we're at, much the way the Republicans want to try to change the Constitution about how our Supreme Court in Pennsylvania is going to be done, and I don't support that. So I think it's critical that we be consistent, and I do not believe in supporting the Supreme Court.
Mr. Oz, same question to you. Should the Supreme Court be
I don't believe in supporting the Supreme Court. I mean, I understand what he was trying to say, but there is no comprehension. There's no cohesion in anything he's saying. There's no logic to it. There's no syntax. You know, basic fundamental syntax to the wording of anything he's saying here.
expanded? If so, by how many justices? You have 60 seconds.
I would never touch the makeup of the Supreme Court. I would advocate to leave it the exact same size it is. But John Fetterman's radical positions have spilled over into what he would do in Washington. One of the first things he has said, and he came back to the campaign trail, is that he wanted to bust the filibuster, which means removing the brakes on the Senate overreacting. That's
true. That is true.
But if you do that, then you would free up the Democrats in the Senate without getting the normal amount of votes to actually expand the Supreme Court, add more states, do things that are detrimental to the well-being of the country. So I think on your first day back, arguing that we should get rid of the filibuster is a dangerously radical move that would hurt Washington. It's not in our nation's best interest.
Thank you both very much.
All right, at this time, we are ready for our closing statements. You each have 90 seconds to convince Pennsylvanians to vote for you on
This guy
Election
whose
Day.
stream
Mr.
this is,
Fetterman, you are first.
he looks
90
really
seconds.
dejected. This has not gone well for
Once
him.
again, I would just like to say that my campaign is all about fighting for anyone in Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that had to get back up again. You know, I'm also fighting for any forgotten community all across Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that had to be made to get back up. You know, I've made my entire career dedicating to those kinds of pursuits. I started as a GED instructor back in Braddock over 20 years ago because I believe it's about serving Pennsylvania, not about using Pennsylvania for their own end interests as well. To me, careers are revealed by your real underlying values. And my values have always been about fighting for forgotten communities all across Pennsylvania.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fetterman. Mr. Oz, your final thoughts, 90 seconds.
I've loved traveling to the four corners of the beautiful Commonwealth, and I've heard your problems. I'm a surgeon, doctor. I listen to what you say, and I'm trying to help address them today.
I mean, seriously, we got a surgeon going up against this guy. I mean, what needs to happen here is the surgeon, Dr. Oz, needs to go over there and lance that giant boil off the dude's neck, man. It's like he's a surgeon. This is a perfect setup. They should just do the surgery while debating.
I've talked to seniors.
Just get him
Worried that
some
Social
local
Security checks
anesthetic,
won't
you know.
go far enough with the raging inflation.
It might actually
I've talked
help
to
with his
couples that make
comprehension.
Their first down payment on a new house, and they can't afford it anymore because of interest rates. I've talked to families.
You want to cut
petrified.
Social Security.
Mr. Fetterman, it's his turn for his closing.
Wow.
I've talked to families worried about fentanyl showing up in their mailbox and literally taking the lives of their children when they find blue in bed. I've talked to families who won't let their kids go outside because of the crime wave that's been facilitated by left radical policies like the ones John Fetterman has been advocating for. But here's the deal, right? None of this has to happen. This is all very addressable. I'm a surgeon. I'm not a politician. We take big problems, we focus on them, and we fix them. We do it by uniting, by coming together, not dividing. And by doing that, we can get ahead. But I've got one question to challenge you with, just one question. If you take what I'm saying to heart, ask yourself this and others in your family. Are you unhappy with where America's headed? I am. And if you are as well, then I'm the candidate for change.
I'm exceptionally
I'm a living
unhappy
embodiment of the
with where
American
we're headed, where we
I believe
are.
we're the land of opportunity, the land of plenty. I believe we
I
can
don't know
balance budget
anybody
without
who's
reckless
not.
spending. I believe we can have an unleashed energy policy that helps us all. I believe that we can have safe city streets and a secure border so legal immigrants can come across, but you shut the fentanyl out. I believe we can give parents choice in where their kids go to school. We can have affordable health care. But most of all, I believe in you. And if you can do this together, and we can, I would ask for your vote on Election Day. God bless you.
We do have one final question, an important issue in Pennsylvania. The eyes of the state are on this debate tonight.
Why would you give your
Sunday,
closing
they will be at
statement and then
Lincoln
do one
Financial
more
Field in
question?
Philadelphia as the state's two NFL teams go head to head.
Oh, 'cause
Mr. Fetterman,
that's a stupid
Steelers
one.
or Eagles, and why?
God. He's going to say Steelers.
Oh, clearly, always for the Steelers.
Mr. Oz.
I'll be at the game rooting for my Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Gentlemen, thank you both so much. This does conclude our debate. We do want to thank our candidates for being with us, Mr. Fetterman and Mr. Oz, and for all of you at home who have been watching. Thank you so much.
And we want to thank our team at WHTM for hosting us at their studios tonight. Remember, voters on Election Day is just 2 weeks from today.
I'm curious to see what this dude says. It should be kind of interesting because he has not had a good night tonight, but he's been taking notes, and the only thing he's responded to is stuff that Dr. Oz said. So what you got, buddy? What you got?
Okay, I think we should be
Brian
good to go
Tyler
now without
Cohen.
That debate audio, just let me know that you can hear
With your
everything okay.
1.57 million
Quick summary.
subscribers. Never heard of this dude before. Never even heard of him. Come on. What you got?
Okay, it looks like we are good to go. Okay, first off, thank you for watching. If you want to see more debates, I'll try to cover as many debates as I can, so please hit the subscribe button on this channel. I try to cover all these Senate debates if I can. I'm sure we'll see more debates throughout this.
Here's what's funny. He's been apologizing. Like I said, he's been attacking Oz the whole time and didn't
Okay, it
say
looks like we are
anything
good
against
to go.
Fetterman. But look at this
first
ratio.
off, thank you for watching. If
Look
you
at
want to
this.
see more debates, I'll try to cover as many debates as I can, so please.
And this right here is why YouTube doesn't like you seeing dislike buttons, because guys like this who are apologists for the machine, they get ratioed to high heaven, and YouTube does not like you being able to see that everywhere across their platform. Anyway, that was kind of fun. So yeah, we weren't able to fix the DVD player. Kind of sucks, but I didn't expect to, honestly. I thought maybe it would just be an easy fix with those, but my guess is probably, when those went out, it probably it could have taken out possibly one of these, because it looked like they had blown their top. So it's possible that it took out one of these little transistors nearby, or it could have sent some really bad power downstream where it took out one of these chips on the adjoining board over here. So anyway, that's where we are with this. It's garbage. I'm going to pull the boards and just use them for parts later on. If we have to pull something off of the boards to fix something else. And that'll do it for this one. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, you probably have not, because this has been what a train wreck of a video, right? Anyway, we'll see y'all later.